This is the Cobra Fortis 20B, which is a 20-inch cylinder mower with a Briggs & Stratton engine. And this is how it arrives with you in this really strong cardboard box. So we're going to unpack it, take it out and show you how to assemble it. Now, bear in mind, this is a heavy machine. So you're going to need really some help with this. It's all in there. If I just lift this up, we can see the mower is in there. So what we're going to do to get it out, rather than lift it, we're going to cut the box and then we can wheel it out. To make it easier, we're going to put the handlebars together on here. But before that, I'm going to lift this insert out just to give us a little bit more maneuverability. What we're going to do is put the handlebar assembly together first, and it comes complete with a toolkit, including this ratchet spanner. So I'm just going to slacken those nuts off there. So we're just going to take those off on either side with the washers as well. And then we can line it up and put the handlebar into place. Now, it's easier with two on this so that somebody can hold the handlebar in position while the bolts go into place. So I've got some help. So Lee, if I can ask you to hold that into position. So once you've got it in position, it's just simply a case of putting the bolt through, just lining it up down a little bit. There we go. Making sure the cables are all in the right place and we're not trapping anything. And then we can put on our washer and the other bolt. And then what we need to do is get them finger tight, and then we can get our little ratchet spanner and we can tighten those on. And then once we've put this one nice and tight, we repeat on the other side. Cut the sides, we can fold it down so we can now see the mower, and you can see now why we're doing this, because it is quite a big heavy machine. I'm just going to take off, this is the grass collection box, like that, put that down there. And then we're going to wheel it off, but to be able to do that, we've got to cut this cable tie just here. This will enable us to then release the brakes and everything. And then very carefully, we can tilt that back and push it forward and just let that slow down, making sure we've lifted the top roll up so we don't damage the blade. And there we have it. So we're now ready to have a look at this. So we've got the mower here with the handlebars assembled. We've got the toolkit with everything you need. We've got the mower manual here and the engine manual as well. So everything you need to know about this amazing cylinder mower is in these two manuals. So let's have a look at it. This particular model has a brake, which is this just here. So it's really simple to fit. It's just two bolts and they are around here. So you'll see here, this is the oil drain plug and it fits on these two bolts there just below. It's the only two it lines up with, so you can't go wrong. So we just need to take these out like that. So it's just a case of lining them up and then put them back into the holes. Okay, and they've got two washers on there. One of them is a spring washer, which is going to prevent them vibrating out. And once you've got them finger tight, then we can get the spanner on and just tighten those into place like that. Right, so they're nice and tight now, and that is it. That is the brake for when you're mowing. Next, we can just tidy the cables. We've got the cable clips on here, and the easiest way to put these on is to actually take them off first, put the cable in, and then just clip it into place. And then we can just put the other one on as well and just tidy them up. Just put that one so that it's actually central. Two will hold it really firm like that, and just repeat that on this side. So the only thing we've got to do now is put some fuel in it and oil. You'll notice we brought the mower off the lawn onto some hard standing. That's because we don't want to risk spilling petrol and damaging the lawn. So it's a good tip to always follow. So we're going to put some oil in. This is the oil filler cap and also doubles up as the dipstick. So make sure you use the right oil. This particular model takes 0.6 of a litre, but always check the engine manual because different models vary. So it's important that we do put in the right amount of oil and you use the correct oil for the engine. So this is a litre, so we need just over half. I'm just going to pour that slowly in. let it disappear down into the sump. I think we are just about there, looking at the gauge on the side of the bottle. We've got about the right amount in. What I'm going to do now that that's gone in, and just let that settle in the sump for a second or two. And then what we need to do is to get the dipstick in there and screw that in. When you're checking the oil, always make sure the dipstick is screwed into position, and then take that out and have a look. And it's nice and clear. It's to the top of the hatching, which it says there. You can see where my fingernail is, that's where the oil is too. What we'd also do, of course, when we've used the mower for a short while, is we'd check it again just to make doubly sure that it's got the right amount in. Now we're going to put some petrol into it, so just wipe the funnel out. It's important that you always use fresh petrol. Don't use any petrol you've had for a long time. It becomes stale and the engine won't run as smoothly and as efficiently. So let's get some petrol in there. There we go. Right. So we're now ready to go. We're all fueled up. Check the dipstick. We've got fresh fuel in there, so we can get it back on the grass and start it up and mow. Now we're all fueled up, it's really ready to start mowing, but because this is brand new, it's always worth just checking with the cylinder mower to make sure the cylinder and the bottom blade have been adjusted. And they should have been in the factory. Before we do anything, I've made sure that it's switched off at the side, and we've also turned the petrol off so it can't be started. And how this cuts is the cylinder goes round and it cuts onto a bottom blade, a bit like a scissor action. What we can do with this is just tilt it back like that, just for a short period. It won't cause any harm at all. And put a pair of gloves on. So I'm just going to put just one glove on here, and you need a piece of paper, just a piece of ordinary writing paper. And the idea is I'm going to put this in the gap between the bottom blade and the cylinder, and then just rotate it, and that's made a lovely clean cut. And do that in the side, the centre, and then at this edge. Probably here that's just got that lovely sort of rasp as it goes round. If it doesn't cut, then it would need adjusting, and the details are in the manual. If it's too tight, you'd struggle to pull it round, but that is perfect. And what we can also do with it, again, details are in the manual. The height of cut adjustment is here on this, and it winds up and down. So we can mow from 30mm down to 6mm. You might be wondering in the toolkit what this bar, the nut and bolt, and the little steel rule is. Well, this is a height setting bar, and this is used to get an accurate measurement. Although there is a height adjuster there, it's only a guide. It's not accurate to the exact mil. So if you want to be mowing it at exactly 22mm or 26mm, then this is what you need. So what you do, very simple to use, and we'll set it for around 20mm. You wind in the bolt, and then the little steel rule there we can use. I'm also going to put the nut on the bottom as well. So put the nut on the other end. Okay, and what we use is, this is in inches and in millimetres, but we're going to do it in millimetres. We're measuring from the top of the bar to the underside, so we can see at that point I'm about 25. So we're going to take it in a little bit more. And there, can we see that is, let me just one little slight twist out. So we're 20mm from there to the underside of the bolt. Okay, so then we can lock that into place with this little nut on the bottom. So it just takes us a minute or two to get it right, and just double check that to make sure it's not moved. No, that's absolutely right. So that's tight. So that isn't going to move now. So I need now a pair of gloves, because obviously we've got sharp blades here. We don't want any accidents. So what we're going to do, now we've got that set at 20mm, is we've got the back roller here, we've got the front roller here, and we've got the bottom blade. So what we're going to do is we're going to hook the bottom of the bolt underneath there, and it should just touch there, and it should just touch there. If I hold it onto both of the rollers, we can see there is still a gap there. So what I need to do is take that off. We need to lift the bottom blade just a millimetre or so, then try it again. Just a little bit more. Right, so that is now sitting, maybe just half a turn. Hook that on. It's in contact with the back, in contact with the front, but it's not too tight that the roller doesn't turn. So I now know that the gap between the soil level and the cutting edge there is exactly 20 millimeters. And then we can just take that off and try it at the other side. And this just tells us that it's cutting evenly along the length of the blade. And there it is, we can see that that is absolutely parallel to the ground at both sides of the mower. So it's a really good piece of equipment to make sure that you can adjust the mower height to exactly what you want. Starting is very simple. We've got the fuel there, which we've already turned off. So we're going to put the fuel on to let the petrol through to the carburettor. We've got the on and off switch, so we put it on, and then we pull the top lever back to put the choke on, and then when the engine is running we can just push that forward, and this is the recoil. Once we've got the engine running, then we've got two levers here. This one, and it's all shown on the handlebar, is what puts the cylinder into action, and when we start the mower we always tilt the mower back just a little bit like that so that we can get it running, then put it down, and then to self-propel we push this one in. To stop everything we just let go. It's as simple as that. So we can now start it. So the choke's on, give it a pull, get it rev, cylinder in, off we go. Just the red switch there to switch it off, and that is it, all set up, works perfectly, and will make a marvellous job of cutting your lawns.
Remember to register your Cobra online at www.cobragarden.co.uk, and always have your Cobra serviced regularly. Check the website for your nearest dealer.